Hey everyone, I'm Casey Hollins, and you're watching the Sportsnet Digital Dose. We've got Jim Lang from Sportsnet 590 The Fan in studio today, and Jim, I'm happy and I'm sad at the same time because every year around this time, I'm excited for NFL playoffs, but it means the season's almost over.
Yes,
we only have a month left, and I don't like having to confront that fact, but I'm looking forward to this weekend.
It is a very good weekend and some very intriguing matchups, to say the least, and some teams that, even though it's wild card weekend, are capable of going all the way.
All right, who do you think could go all the way from this weekend? Let's talk NFC first. Do you see any contenders there?
I do. I see the Green Bay Packers, and I know there's issues with their defense, and people are going to point to the fact that Adrian Peterson has run for a lot of yards against him this year. But Aaron Rodgers, I think, has been forgotten how good he's been this year. Aaron Rodgers has had an MVP caliber season, but won't get any votes because of what Peyton Manning and what Adrian Peterson have done this year.
Yeah.
So he's sort of slipped under the radar and had an incredible year. They have dealt with a ton of injuries on both sides of the ball all year, and now they're finally getting healthy. We'll have Greg Jennings and Jordy Nelson in the lineup Saturday, which is a huge boon to their passing game. Clay Matthews will be in the lineup. You're going to have Charles Woodson in the lineup, so you're getting some help in defense. They're at Lambeau Field, and if they can get by this hump, get by the Vikings, and get rid of Adrian Peterson out of the postseason, I think it opens up a lot of possibilities for the Packers, and they have so much confidence in Aaron Rodgers in that passing game. They feel they can hang with any team in the NFL because of it.
I mean, they have Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback, so
Yes.
That's a fair argument that they can hang with any team in the NFL.
Yeah, and this is not a slag against Christian Ponder, who has had a few good moments in the last few weeks, but you can't compare Christian Ponder to Aaron Rodgers. And the Packers will do everything to try to stop Adrian Peterson, and you'll see Christian Ponder make some throws to a guy like his tight end Kyle Rudolph. But for those big, deep balls, the big, deep bomb touchdowns, there really is only a few quarterbacks in the league that can keep up with Aaron Rodgers, and he's got that ability to put the ball wherever he wants and make all the throws in the book.
So what about AFC? What do you, any matchups there that you think might be interesting enough? Any contenders that you see in the AFC?
This weekend, I have no faith that any of the four teams involved could go all the way. Now, some people will point to Baltimore hosting the Colts because the Ravens are always a bit of a sexy pick because of the way they're constructed. However, their defense is getting up there in years. They've had a lot of injuries in defense. Ray Lewis, it's his last hurrah. Ed Reed, there's some talk he could be playing for the last time in Baltimore before his hometown fans. And quite frankly, Joe Flacco has not really been that impressive this year.
Yeah.
And until Joe Flacco has that kind of breakout game in the postseason where he puts the team on his back, and if he can carve the Colts defense and put up a lot of points, that'll help erase some of those doubts. But considering some of the competition that even if they get by the Colts this week, they would have to face, whether it's the Denver Broncos and New England Patriots, I don't know if they have the jam to beat either one of those teams this year just because of a lot of the things working against them. So in a different era with a younger, healthier defense, I would put a lot of stock in the Baltimore Ravens, but I just don't know if they have it this year.
Fair enough. So before I let you go, I want to ask, jumping back to the NFC, Seahawks, Redskins, RG3, Russell Wilson. Arguably, RG3 is the better quarterback, but he's not 100%. We saw that he was kind of limping around the field a little bit last weekend. Who do you pick in that game?
Well, Casey, I understand what you're saying, and most people in North America automatically say RG3 is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson. And I'll agree with that, but only by a little bit. Russell Wilson has taken huge strides in the second half of the season, both as a quarterback, a passing quarterback, a running quarterback, and in his leadership. And speaking to a number of the veteran receivers in the Seahawks a few weeks ago when Seattle was playing the Bills in Toronto, they were unequivocal in their support of Russell Wilson as a leader in the locker room. They will follow him to the ends of the earth. So you have a rookie quarterback in Wilson who has as much confidence in his locker room as Robert Griffin III does in the Redskins. The difference in this game will be the Seahawks defense. Both teams can run the ball. Alfred Morris is a great running back, but so is Marshawn Lynch. Both teams have pretty good offensive lines. I think I would give an edge to Seattle. But the big difference is the physicality and just the quality of the Seahawks defense. Brandon Browner is back from suspension. Richard Sherman is not suspended. They have a better secondary than the Redskins. And that's going to be the difference is is Russell Wilson will be able to make some plays against the Redskins defense that Robert Griffin III will not be able to make because of the quality of the Seattle defense. And I think the Seahawks win the game on the road.
All right, well, Seahawks fans, there you go. I know Jeff Simmons downstairs will be pretty excited to hear that you think the Seahawks have a good chance. I do too.
Well, they're a better team than Washington right now. Now maybe next year with a healthier Redskins defense and some more additions, it'd be different. But right now, Seattle's a better team.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. NFL playoffs. Sad the season is winding down, but anything can happen, which is the exciting part of the next few weeks here. So anyway, that's all the time that we've got, but thanks so much for coming in, Jim.
No problem, Casey.
And check back in a little bit for another Sportsnet Digital Dose.